Yeah, so obviously thrilled with the way we played. Not many places to go in terms of things to be just disappointed about.
No.
Not many things to really be disappointed about. Except that was probably the one blemish from today for us right there, what happened between you guys. I think a great performance. Super efficient on offense. Made it much tougher on them this time from a defensive standpoint. Plus 12 on the glass, 23 assists, 5 turnovers. Just I think a really clean game. And then the Big East, the regular season championship. It's something that last year I think not getting either one, was as great as a national championship. This was a thorn in our side, especially the regular season. I think next to getting to a Final Four or winning a national championship, I think winning the regular season of a conference like this is like the hardest thing to do, harder than the Big East tournament. Because you got to earn it in a true round robin in this league, in some incredibly tough places to play, the most physical games in college basketball against the best coaches in the country. So,
yeah, what can you say about just Steph's overall game, both sides of the ball today?
Yeah, Steph was tremendous. When we played these guys the first time, he was coming off the bench and wasn't healthy or in rhythm, and he made it tougher, I think, on Kadari, especially in the first half. Kadari, found some success later, but just his size, what he was able to do, in the paint offensively, his efficiency, and his defense. I mean, that was tremendous. I saw some, super critical breakdown of him on ESPN and his draft potential. I'd like to see them be super critical of all the prospects, because I watch a lot of these top prospects, and I just hope that that reporter does as scathing a breakdown of every draft prospect, not just ours. They should really, break down the off-ball defense like you have a clue. So,
Ted, you go. I think you've won 41 out of your last 46 games, going back to like last January. Obviously, finished undefeated at home. And the way you've won a lot of these games against good teams, you've beaten some good teams by 20 or 30. How much confidence does the manner in which these games have played out give you? How much confidence does that give you about the team's ceiling?
Yeah, we're deep. That starting five is obviously excellent. Steph is our 5th leading scorer, and he had, against a really good defensive team, he had 21 on 12 shots. So I think that's what makes us unique. I think Cam was obviously a huge part of their game plan. He's our 2nd leading scorer. Most teams, when the 2nd leading scorer goes for 5 points, they're either trying to win a close game or they're definitely going to lose. So that makes us unique. Our efficiency with Donovan fully healthy, our efficiency at both ends of the court and on the backboard fully healthy, tells the story of the quality that we bring. There's not a lot of holes. When we've had a couple outlier performances, the Creighton game, total breakdown of who we are, but when we stick to the script and stick to our formula and we're about our identity, there's not a lot of holes in our attack.
What do you like about what Donovan's been doing? He's so active, contributing on both ends of the court. What do you like about it?
Yeah, the key for Donovan was just getting the weight down after the second injury. He was never healthy for the first part of the year, and then again he missed 5 games. So it's not like we've been healthy in the Big East this year the whole way through. And he's one of the most impactful players in the country, bar none. But he came back lighter, came back in the 270s. And you could just see with his movement right now that he's moving really well. He's moving as well as he did last year when everyone fell in love with him. Talent evaluators, NBA players, commentators. He's a unicorn.
Dan, can you talk about the wave of emotion today? You laughed, you cried, you celebrated, you got mad. I mean, it was all over the place.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster. And I said to the guys, I think by by Wednesday or Thursday, as I was crying in practice, just thinking about the men that we're going to lose from this team. I was jealous on Wednesday or Thursday that we weren't. I wanted, you wanted back in. I mean, the bye was nice. I think we looked a little fresher today, but I think we all wanted to play. We were jealous of the other teams that were getting the opportunity to get into the arena of competition and continue to build our season. But I've been crying since. I've been crying for a while now, thinking about Andrew. That whole relationship, Tristan, how we've grown in our relationship, Cam, how so quickly you could become so connected, and then Haas, obviously, and Mo and that family relationship with our program, and then the chance to win the championship. You'd think that a place like this, you win it every other year, every 3 years. It tells you how difficult it is to win a regular season championship. And anyone, again, we all unfairly, like Matt Painter and myself with my, early exits. The COVID one, again, I don't, that COVID one, I think a lot of people should get a pass on that one, because that was not your typical tournament. That was a shit show in a lot of ways, but the hardest thing to do is to be excellent over the course of 3-4 months in a brutal, hard league. And next to win a national championship, I think that's the next best championship that you can win. Probably the regional, but third best maybe at worst.
Dan, you talk about how hard this was, but can you talk about the decision to cut down the nets to be able to do that kind of a celebration? Obviously, you did one in Houston, but to be able to do something like that in front of your fans, in front of the family on senior night.
Yeah, these are, this Connecticut was, Connecticut, this was for Connecticut today. This was to have the students, to have, our in-state fans. Obviously, there was a number of fans that had a chance to travel in for the game. I saw fans on flights, I guess on social, flying in for the last. But it was like, brought you back to the parade, brought you back to the parade. We'll get to celebrate with the great people of Connecticut. The Huskies and sports Huskies are Connecticut's teams. Football, men's and women's basketball, baseball, all the great sports here. So it's just great to have the celebration with our fans in state. We mean a lot to the state.
Dan,
what is this?
Building suspense by waiting and seemed like you checked in everybody except for your son to the last minute. Were you building suspense there? What'd you say?
Well, I just thought Andrew deserved a 2-minute run, and then he was involved in more plays there. I mean, he went for multiple steals. He created his own shot multiple times, and he was on the backboard. I mean, he was super active. So, I mean, he deserved a 2-minute run. And we wanted everyone to get their, just due. Obviously, Donovan was probably the only one that I wish we could have strategically gotten off the court, and maybe heard it from the crowd a little bit more, but he hears it from everybody everywhere he walks throughout the state. And I just wanted to make sure he didn't get hurt. But I thought everyone got their just ovation from the crowd.
You're kind of riding a high right now, and now you're going 2 tough road games. How do you kind of turn that around really quickly?
Yeah, we're our mindset is momentum into Big East tournament finish. Obviously, we're playing for big things in terms of seeding. For the NCAA tournament, we obviously have a heck of a resume as it stands right now, and not just winning conference games, but I think that those challenging ourselves in the non-conference with the Carolina neutral, the Texas neutral, the Gonzaga, which I don't know if the committee should look at that like a neutral. I know it was in Seattle, but there was probably 18,000 Gonzaga fans at that game, so that felt more like a road. We've done it both non-conference, we've done it in conference. But we want to go Brooklyn to Boston to Phoenix. We've talked about that since the summer, and we're gonna be able to finish.
Dan, what does a championship team play like when it has a as your, say, a thorn in its side? You're national champs, but you feel like you have a thorn in your side from here, and I imagine the Garden is another thorn that's left to pull out.
Yeah.
What is that like?
Yeah, I mean, we're just getting, we just have a culture in place that's taken years to build. And then we're just, again, Kamani and Luke, how they're not, in particular, those two, they got a wonderful staff overall, but to be able to retain those two guys and not have these search firms and ADs, am I going to get through another off season? I mean, those two guys are as good as most head coaches in the country in the big seat. And then the people that they recruit for me, the talent combined with the old school values, the shared values, being about winning, waiting your turn in this program. You hope that, like Alex, Alex Donovan, playing, a smaller role and waiting their turn until they become more of the face of it. We're just recruiting people and families into the program that, that have shared values and appreciate the culture and how hard we work with their players. And we just got the right mix. And we're just not taking, in recruiting, we're not bringing in talented players that are selfish and delusional and sinking our culture and hurting our chances of winning big things.
How good did it feel to get Tristan that standing ovation? I mean, you're imploring the crowd to get up and cheer for him.
Yeah, I mean, look at the back of his baseball card right now here. I mean, it's we've got it's going to be tough. You just hope this year that the coaches in the league doesn't do what it does last year, where Alex wasn't rewarded for the winning, and they reward numbers that maybe are a little bit better, but maybe in sports the champions and the best team or the top teams deserve the awards. The back of his baseball card in terms of 2-year runs of cards right now is he's got a chance to put something on the board that's going to be tough for, in terms of accomplishments that are going to be tough to match.
Was it good for Alex to maybe get a couple of easy baskets and maybe get him going a little bit today?
Yeah, I just think the shot the shot didn't fall, but yeah, I think he did other things. He problem solved. He played really good defense. He moved the ball. He cut. He drove. You're going to go through some stretches, 2 or 3 game stretches in season where you struggle with your shot. That happens maybe once, maybe twice during the course of the year. But Alex gets hot in March, and I thought he played well tonight. There's a difference between shooting well and playing well. He played well tonight.
Do you like the looks that he's getting from three-point range?
I think he got some really good ones. Against the better defensive teams, you got to make shots in tighter windows. They were really aggressive. Taking Cam away tonight, they were aggressive. I thought ball screen defense with Tristan, and I think that's the beauty of our team. Is Tristan had a willingness again, even though he ended up with 17, he took 9 shots. Cam, who's like an absolute killer scorer, like he took 3 shots and he was great with that. And I think that's what makes us unique, because we're real balanced.
Dan, how about the home record and also just the home atmosphere? It's like the building has kind of gotten back to maxing out its potential on a day like this.
Yeah, the last 2 years have been special. I think, this year and last year, whether we're ranked 3 or whatever we're ranked, whatever our current overall seed is in the tournament, we've been, I think, the best program in college basketball, from last year to this point this year. We still have 2 regular season games, conference tournament, Big East tournament, which is the best postseason tournament in the country this year, and it's not even close. The Garden this year, the Big Apple is going to be sick. And then, we still got the NCAA tournament where, again, if the field makes the mistake of letting us out of the first round, watch out. So we've got a lot of confidence, and I think last year, winning it has just kind of given us the freedom just to go out, coach, play. We don't have heavy shoulders. You know, we're attacking games as opposed to, you know, carrying a lot of March pressure.
Can you take me through those 2 minutes that Andrew was out on the floor from what you said to him when he checked in to blowing a kiss to your wife when he hit one
Yeah,
of your-
I said to him, don't let the game come to you, to really attack. And I told him to see if he could get a steal. I mean, we were in a zone. I gave him basically the freedom to play out those 2 minutes as aggressively as he could. Being a coach's kid, you know, when it's going well, you know, it's pretty good. When we're losing, you know, he's got to deal with people tweeting at him and sending him bad stuff on the gram, direct message, your father sucks, he's a loser. Obviously, the family goes through, you know, just a lot of bad stuff when you're losing. But that guy has been incredible in our locker room. The relationships that he has with the players, what he's done to create an incredible culture in that locker room, the way he supports his teammates, the energy he brings in. He's a really good player too. Could have even been a much better player. Could have been a Division I player if I pushed him the way my dad pushed me and my brother. So I try and talk him into a 50 year. I don't think he's going to do it. But you know.